Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello viewers, welcome once again to my channel. So as you can see, I am in an outdoor location, and when I show you, you will know that it's a familiar location that I always used for my outside videos. So I'll change the camera around and then show you what we are doing today. So I am outside the railway station, viewers, and hopefully showing you a few sights in the walk. So once again, this was requested by a sister who now lives in Pakistan, and also by a number of people. So it is a railway station, and over there the iconic India building. This is Church Street, and on this side the Imperial Hotel, and this is Winding Road, and we are going to go all the way up to the top because a number of people have requested that I show the bus station as it is now, and also Sister Tamina wants to see the leisure centre, North Bridge Leisure Centre, and also the North Bridge itself. So I have covered all these areas before, so I'm going to only stop 2 or 3 times to show you the landmarks. So if you remember, this is the Imperial Hotel, and next to it we have the Square Chapel and this Spire Chapel with this wonderful spire. And so it was knocked down many decades ago, but this spire and the window remains, and that is part of the library. So I'm going to go quite a bit that way and then show you where we are. But down here is the path to the parish church. So I'm a little further on now, viewers, so that's the journey I've made so far. So we get a better view of Square Chapel, our beautiful library, and of course this is the entrance to the Peace Hall, and on this side the Industrial Museum, all of which I've covered on numerous occasions. So this street is called Alfred Street East, and the path that I was showing you earlier is there, and it winds around to the parish church. So along the way and all over Halifax you'll see buildings like this, which are what we originally were what we called bonded warehouses, basically storage, but they only sold things from certain suppliers. So once again I'm going to walk quite a bit on and show you once again the what can we say, prominent locations. So I've just stopped a little bit further on, viewers, show you the distance that I've covered. So we have the Industrial Museum on this side, and then if we go up this side, it's the other entrance to the Peace Hall. That is the north side, and on this side is the car park for our shopping centre known as the Wool Shops. So as I've shown you previously, a lot of areas are named after the industry that there was. So this area here was called Hatter's Fold. So if I just show you the bigger signage, as it were, so that way is Huddersfield, and this way is Bradford. So if I show you further up on that side, we've got the wonderful parish church. So we're going to go further up at Winding Road, viewers. So I've stopped once again, viewers, to show you the distance we've covered. So the car park extends up to that road, but the reason that I've stopped here is this is King Street, and if we went all the way around it leads to that mill over there. I hope you can make it out. So the Honda dealer, and then further back in front of again, I don't know if you can make it out, the Sports Direct outlet. So that mill is called Stone Dam Mill. So it's a very, very historic mill, as many mills are here up in the north. So it's famous because it was the first mill that used steam power. Okay, so we're going to carry on further up and show you the other famous streets, or certainly by name and what used to be there. So this is King Street, and I'm going to stop further up that way. So I've covered a little bit more ground now, viewers. So as you can see, this is the end, further back was the end of the car park, and behind there what we see is the Wool Shops shopping centre, and we have a large Marks and Spencer's there. This road here is known as Goal Lane, G-O-A-L, and for those of you that are experts in the English language, that is an old word for a jail. So there used to be a jail here, not what we would call a criminal jail, but what we call it was known as a debtor's jail. So in the 17th and 18th century, if you didn't pay your creditors on time, then they would bring you here. You would be imprisoned in those days as well. So this road here is called Well Lane, and as you can see, we get a better view of Stone Dam Mill, and as it is known now, Stone Dam Furniture Stores. Okay, so bring you back over here, we really do have some wonderful period buildings. So in my childhood, this area was very, very different, and there used to be some factory here. I think they produced overalls. I'm not sure whether it's this one or further down. I do get mixed up very often. And then on this side we've got these 17th century buildings, and they have a long history of providing drinks for the travellers, as it were, and now they also have function rooms. Okay, so that's Gold Lane, and we're going to go further on now, and from there we will begin to see the bus station. So I've just stopped a little bit further on, viewers. So this on Gold Lane, as you can see, this is now used as a depot by the post office. Then we have Wade Street here, and from here we get the first view of the bus station as it is. But these buildings, these magnificent buildings, certainly the outside has survived, so they've served various purposes over time. So originally there was a church, a graveyard, and later a school, and also a Sunday school, I think. So from here right to the top we had these facilities. But in my childhood this was a cash and carry store. There were buildings over there, so you entered from here and there was a large building behind it. So Winding Road goes further on there. Wade Street goes further down here. All of this was developed in the 80s, and many previous industries, which I have to say were very dirty industries that filled the town with smoke, were down here. We had a very polluting power station, which meant that none of this greenery was here at that time. Thankfully, we don't have that anymore, and we have this wonderful greenery of the Beacon Hills. So the Beacon Hills start over there and carry on right towards South Arab and further. Okay, so pan once more. So we're going to go further on because there are many more iconic buildings. So I'm a little bit further on, viewers, on Winding Road, so just show you this is the entrance to Sainsbury's, and then we have some newer buildings. This is what can we say, rest home, or certainly helping the disabled and elderly. And on this side we have some really old buildings. These I think date back to the 15th century. Once again, drinking places. So all around was either what we, other areas where people worked and obviously went for their refreshments there. So then we are here. We have this wonderful facade of the school, as I told you, from the other side. So it was called Sion Sunday School. So I hope you can read that inscription. It was built in 1866. So again, this was part of the cash and carry that I was talking about. This used to be windows actually in that time, but now it is being used as part of the bus station. So there, if you go further along, then their canteen is in that direction. So in this building, this construction has been going on now for the last year and a half, and it still isn't complete. So I'll go right to the top now, viewers, and then show you the views from there. I thought I'd stop here, viewers. This is called Lister Street, and it's named after a very famous novelist and industrialist of the Victorian era, and also what's the word, they had large estates, so very much involved in agriculture. So we see more of the railway station from this side, and in the background you have the council buildings, and over there you can just catch the town hall. This is View, the cinema that's here on Broad Street. So I'm going to go right to the top onto Broad Street now. So I'm at the very top of Winding Road now, viewers. I just pan around. So we are going to go across the road that way, because that is the way that Northbridge and Northbridge Leisure Centre is. And for those of you that watched the previous videos, you will recall that down there is Dean Clough. Ahead of us, what we see is the Broad Street Plaza with various eateries, drinking places, the cinema and other facilities. So behind this is Market Street and the rest of town, and we have our iconic town hall there. So as you can see, it's still a building site, is the bus station. Behind that used to be council offices, but now it's going to be retail units. So all of this area has been redeveloped. It was very different in my childhood. I think there were, warehouses on there, and then eventually used as a car park. So we're going to go that way, and that of course is Northbridge, and also Northbridge Leisure Centre. So I'm a little bit further on now, viewers. So just show you where I am. I'm near North Place. Okay, so all the places around here have North in front of them, because this is the north of Halifax. So that is what I've come to show. What we have there is the beautiful forgotten its name now, Northbridge of course. And actually on this side is the leisure centre. I just thought I'd show you the whole panoramic view once again. So the carriageway starts up there, goes all the way around, and also down there of course is Dean Clough. Then on this side we have these beautiful buildings, again from the 18th and 19th century. So in my childhood, this was really a bustling area, many shops on there, many specialists, and we used to visit because they sold things like industrial shoes, which my dear father and brother used to buy. So we're going to go a bit further on, viewers, and show you better views of North Bridge and North Bridge Leisure Centre. See if I can still remember the names. I've just stopped a little bit further on now, viewers. The road that I am on is called North Bridge Street, and as you can see, it's a very traditional cobbled area, and you can see all of the iconic carriageway from here, more beautiful period buildings, and that way is Dean Clough. It starts off as I think you used to call it Cross Hill, and then down there is the mill complex. So we're going to go further down this way because we get a better view of the bridge from there. Show you another view of North Bridge Street, viewers and Sister Thamina. So the sort of entrance that you see there in the olden days, that was the entrance to the power station. And then if you look on this side, that is North Bridge Leisure Centre. We will go around and show you from the other side, but as you can see, it's boarded up and it will be refurbished, hopefully. So we're going to go further around and show you more of the bridge. So that's the area we've covered so far, viewers, and down here is another entrance to Dean Clough, and here we see a wonderful view of North Bridge. So it's a very iconic bridge, way ahead of its time, and built in the 1890s, and at that time there was a lot of pomp and ceremony because it was one of the best things in the area. So there's a very long history going back to the 13th century of bridges being here. And of course we build bridges because there's water, and if you remember in the previous video I told you about Hebble Brook. So that and other streams are underneath these roads, and if we go further down there we can see it, and that is what I'm going to show you, and then come back here and go towards North Bridge Leisure Centre, and that will be the end of the video. So this road path leading to Dean Clough is called Bowling Dyke. So I'll show you once again the beautiful cobbled stones, and we get another view of this wonderful cast iron bridge. So this is Dean Clough. So as you can see, there are lots and lots of mill complex that are used eventually the Crossleys bought them all out, but to start with there were individuals who built them, and of course nowadays they're used for all sorts of different purposes. So we have solicitors there, and we have restaurants there as well. That's the road we've covered so far, so I'll just pan around and hopefully you can see the sign there for North Bridge Leisure Centre, so we can see the underneath of the bridge, and down there is where the streams used to be. So there still is a stream there, and I'm going to show you. So this is our wonderful flyover slash carriageway slash Burdock Way, and in places it is also known as Arken Way. Okay, so to show you some of these buildings here, wonderful Victorian buildings, no doubt allied to the textile industry and used for those purposes. So I'll go further down and show you the stream, or Hebble as it is known as. So I'm further on down the road, viewers, and as you can see there are various gates, and the reason why I've stopped is this mill, Fletcher, was quite an iconic mill owner as well. And down here we see what is left of the streams, or what I described as Hebble Brook. So I'm afraid there's a lot of what shall we say, silly people, careless people that drop things such as trolleys into that. So at one time this was, you know, much wider, and of course served the purpose of providing the water for the woolen industry. So if you remember, in the previous videos I was in the villages of Wheatley, of Ovenden and Illingworth. They are in that direction, and that is where Hebble Brook starts. So starts up in the hills down there, and these mills developed because of that, and then these streams go into a larger river called the River Calder. So I'll show you this from the other side as well, see how it flows. So today it's a really gentle flow, but very often it's quite fast. Second, as you can see, it's a faster flowing stream on this side, viewers, and we have the mills on both sides, or on all of the sides. So there are better views further down, and they're used by various businesses, such as a restaurant called Babar Khan, and I will hopefully one day show you that as well. So this is what remains of Hebble Brook. So I'll pan once again. Fernley Mill, another iconic mill. Up there is the village of Boothtown, which I have used as a starting base. Okay, viewers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up there now, because I have been asked to show the North Bridge Leisure Centre, which is over there. So I'll be walking quite a distance and then show you from there. Show you another view of that. So the other thing I should have shown you is that this bridge has a number of towers. So there's 4 on this side, and 2 in the middle, and then 4 at the end as well. So I'm back on North Bridge Street, viewers. So we're going to walk further there. So as I told you, that these pillars used to be the starting of a power station, and North Bridge Leisure Centre starts here and goes all the way around. So once again, show you our beautiful North Bridge. So I'm right at the bottom of North Bridge Street now, viewers, and once again show you the view of North Bridge. So the 2 towers over there, and we've got these middle ones here, and then 2 on the other side. So as I say, in my time all this was an industrial area, foundries, power stations, etc., and they got knocked down in the 60s and 70s, and we got things like leisure centres. So as you can see, it is boarded up, Sister Thamina, but this is the North Bridge Leisure Centre as you remember it. Okay, so you remember playing badminton here, etc. So I do hope this has rekindled your memory and the other people. So I'm most grateful for those that requested North Bridge and the bus station. Once again, many of you. So I really don't have time to mention everybody, but one person, John Swales, who lives in Swansea, has asked me quite a few times. So John, I do hope you've enjoyed what I've done for today. Okay, behind this is another car park and the Sainsbury's Superstore. So we've come to the end of today's journey, viewers. I hope you enjoyed the sights. I've certainly enjoyed the walk. It's done me a lot of good. So once again, thank you very much to all the subscribers. And as always, I will make the plea, please watch as much as you can so as you can help me with the view time. So we're still considerably away from the 4,000. We're up to about well, close to 1,700 now, I think. So once again, I am most grateful for the what shall we say, big leaps that I am making. So I thank you, and I tell you to ask you to please watch the videos, continue watching the videos, watch in full, watch as often as you can. So until the next time, I say, look after yourselves, look after others. Goodbye. अपना ख्याल रखना, दूसरों का ख्याल रखना, दुआओं में याद रखना. अल्लाह हाफिज़.